rather curl in a dress.
I think that was.
Your son is going to be so confused. Dada, why do you have a dress on?
Dada, why are you wearing a dress?
You're recording it? You got it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So far, so good.
That's a good spot for the intro, right there.
And Craig is wearing a dress.
Yep.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to CurlingNation Season 3, Episode 4-ish. Fishtails. Today on the show, we got Jessica Schultz, former Olympian, national champion, current USCA employee doing stuff, helping out junior curlers. On the show, we talk about fishing stuff and
those great curling stories.
other stuff.
Yeah.
But before we get that, thanks to Modus Financial for their support of CurlingNation, moduscc.com for all your point of sale credit card processing. And if you need a online store.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no problem. Okay. Mason like that. Credit card processing, point of sale systems, moduscc.com. They have all your needs. All secure, 100%, as secure as you can get in the business. So check them out, moduscc.com. Also, we've got merch. CurlingNation end cards. You can play ends. You can gamble and drink with your friends.
Perfect stocking stuffer.
Perfect stocking stuffer.
Yeah, for your curling family member or whoever has a stocking. Email
the show, contact the show.
Yeah.
We can set you up with some cards.
Yep. What else is going on, Joel? Oh, time out. What episode is it? 4-ish.
4-ish.
Why? Well...
Are you wondering why there was a four-week break between shows instead of a 2-week break?
So we had a great conversation with the Steve Brown.
Yeah.
Talking about old times and stories, and we will again.
Yeah. Joel runs the show, and he installed the technical guy.
Yeah.
Hit the wrong buttons, and it, all we got was a text message on a Sunday morning after we recorded saying, fuck. I can't fix it.
Yeah.
So we lost a show.
Yeah.
We'll try and recreate it and have it again another time. So
I recorded backup on the new thing, and I set it up wrong so that the play button the record button gets to be a play button, and then I found out the play button will play the last recording that was on there, so it played the last backup of the show over the audio that we recorded with Steve.
Yeah, it just
so
yeah. We'd kick Joel. We'd tell Joel to take like a one-show penalty, like a 2-minute penalty for hooking or something. But
I'm just surprised that
Joel runs the show, and we made it through 3+ seasons without.
I'm surprised we made it this long without me screwing something up this bad.
2+ seasons without you fucking it up.
Yeah. But hey,
good job, buddy.
I've learned
you
something.
broke my father's heart.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. He was a little bummed, but he said it didn't matter because he had a great time being here and having some drinks and telling some stories.
And now he gets to do it again.
Yeah,
sometime.
Yeah,
maybe.
sometime. We got to figure out how to do it in such a way that like it doesn't feel like it's rehearsed or something like that.
We can't do it again right away because the stories aren't spontaneous, and so we'll do it again.
Or maybe we got to get just super drunk beforehand, so we can't really remember
end a season.
What we talked about with them or something like that.
We'll figure it out. It was a bummer, but we appreciate what Joel does on the show, and so season 3, episode 4-ish.
4-ish.
All right, what do we got to talk about today, Joel?
They announced men's and women's nationals are in Denver.
All right,
congratulations.
Colorado, the Sunshine State.
Colorado
State.
No.
Rocky Mountain.
It's a state.
It is Colorado is a state.
Colorado
the Sunshine State, according to Old School.
Something.
The movie Old School.
Old School. Yeah, there you go.
Mitch.
Yeah.
Also, John Denver is full of shit. One of my favorite lines from Dumb and Dumb. Driving through Nebraska, which you've driven through probably a bazillion
Rocky
times.
Mountains.
Mm-hmm.
Great scene. Yeah, that should be cool. You said that was close to your place where you lived back in the day.
Before I got married, I lived out there for a couple of years. I lived only a couple miles from this arena.
Nice. Was it nice? Have you ever been in there?
Never been in there. It's by the they got like a stockyard and stampede ground, like rodeo grounds nearby, and it's kind of a I don't know.
All right, cool. I think it's a cool spot. I mean, Denver should be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should be great. Mixed doubles nationals, Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Yeah.
We probably didn't talk about that a month ago.
Yeah.
The last time we had a show.
We talked about it 2 weeks ago. It just didn't make it there.
Right. We didn't talk about it a month ago.
I have an honest question for you. Do you think it will be a challenge for athletes to compete at altitude?
How early do they have to show up to acclimate?
Oh, that's interesting questions. I've had these same questions as a athlete participating in the same altitude.
When did you participate at altitude?
Have you played in
The
Denver?
Olympic trials were in Broomfield, Colorado in 2009.
I don't remember.
And that is basically the same. It might be slightly higher altitude.
6,000 plus.
It might not be. I mean, Denver, like where this is.
I guess sea level is 5,280, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And so this is probably. Broomfield might have been 5,500-ish, and this is going to be like 5,100 because I know where
it is.
The purple row in Coors Field marks 5,280.
Mile high. Got it.
And
Nice. Like
this is a little down from that. It's a little down the river.
Yeah.
And not, in the upper deck of a baseball stadium.
I lived in the Springs for a few years, and we were at almost 7,000. So that's why I said 7,000.
Okay. So anyways, let's call it 5,000 feet. It's close enough to 5. It's going to mess with them a tiny bit.
Not initially. I
for
think later
a couple days. And I think it's a right away is when it.
Oh, okay.
Like the first few sweeps. Or like the first few games, a hard sweep might hit a guy or a girl harder than they were expecting.
Got it. Got it.
But
I
asked the same question a couple times going to altitude, and the former trainer for the USCA, excuse me. Brian said that like 5,000 feet is about where you would start to notice anything. If you're used to sea level and you're competing at 3,000, you don't really notice it. But once you get around 5,000, that's where you'll start to feel it. But it's not huge. There's a much bigger difference between like going up to like 7 or 8 feels like a big deal, where going to 5, you might feel it, but you don't feel
be a little bit more.
much.
You'll be a little bit more winded on a few sweeps, but not otherwise.
Would you feel it more at the end of the week, or would you adapt?
You adapt. As the longer you're there, the more you adapt.
Okay. Yeah. So by the end of the week, you're pretty much adapted by then, and you're
getting close anyways.
You should be able to.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, high school. I went to high school here in the Madison area, and I went to a soccer camp my junior year at the Air Force Academy, which is about 7,000.
Sure.
I can remember my mom and I driving home, and I was just gassed. Like I was exhausted from the week. And maybe it was just from the exertion, but I feel like part of that was probably the altitude. So it might be the end of the week, they're just going to be cashed. But you think everybody's going to be relative level playing field because, I mean, there might be, 2 or 3 athletes that are going to be at that altitude for regular life. I mean, I know Lance Wheeler is on is on a team. I don't remember who off the top of my head, but I don't think there are a lot of other athletes that are out at that level. So it'll be level. I just kind of throwing it out there to see what you thought about
no, they'll feel it a bit, but it's
negligible.
It's more than negligible, but it's gonna affect everybody equally in theory, and it's not nearly as much as if they were going just a couple 1,000 feet higher.
Sure. Okay, cool.
But I was also told that if you eat a lot of iron, that helps your red blood cell flow or count or something like that. So, like, eat a lot of beets and spinach.
I believe iron helps.
Such.
I believe iron helps in carrying oxygen in your blood.
I wonder if Thorne has iron supplements for sale at the USCA store.
What's important about Thorne, Joel?
They're a sponsor of the USCA, and now they've offered supplements.
Nice.
There's a curling supplements store, something or other.
There you go.
You know what's as strong as iron? That segue you just did.
Stronger.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
Every once in a while, we'll pull out something professional around here.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
No.
Not usual, but it happens.
No. I like that it's somewhere different. It's not Midwest.
Sure.
Yeah. Denver's cool.
Well, speaking of the Midwest, mixed doubles are in Kalamazoo.
Yeah, there you go.
Again.
Yeah.
Do you consider Kalamazoo the Midwest or Great Lakes?
It's Michigan. Well,
I count it as Great Lakes more so than Midwest.
It's the Midwest part of the country.
That was a great debate.
I would say.
I don't think that Michigan is part of the Midwest. I don't have nothing against Michigan. I just don't think it's part of the Midwest.
You can send your hate mail to.
I'm not hating on anybody.
CurlingNation@CurlingNetwork.com.
Yeah.
Oh, you're talking about other people.
Yeah.
What do you consider the Midwest then?
I think Wisconsin,
Minnesota, Illinois,
East. So all right, yeah. Wisconsin, Illinois, Iowa, Minnesota.
Yeah.
Nebraska.
I think that at least
Nebraska is Great Plains.
No, I think part of Nebraska and probably part of Nebraska, part of Missouri.
Wow.
But I don't think
Indiana.
Maybe part of Indiana.
Like
I'm not sure. Maybe
Western Ohio.
It depends on.
No,
also depends on where
Ohio's Great Lakes.
Ohio's right out.
Ohio's out. Michigan, I think Michigan's out too. Like, I mean, they're close to the Midwest. They're Midwest adjacent. They share similar.
I think if you live on the coast, though, like everything from Pennsylvania to Nevada is like the Midwest.
Yeah. I think once you get past, like, say, Lincoln in Nebraska, then you're definitely in the Great Plains. But, like,
all right.
I would consider the first hour of Nebraska to not be the Great Plains. But, like, I can't say the same about South Dakota and North Dakota because that is plains out there, man.
Well, it's like
maybe it's a
not
curve. It's a curve.
Yeah.
You can't just draw a straight line.
It's not like Nebraska has a lot of curves in it. Like it's a ramp to Funtown.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, something like that.
You know, like, I considered Minnesota part of the Midwest too, but, like, maybe I'm not going to consider all of Minnesota and maybe not all of Wisconsin. Like, maybe up in the, like, way up north, maybe the North Woods, that doesn't quite count. I'm not sure.
What does that count as? Canada?
I don't know.
I don't think there's another region outside of like Midwest, but you know.
All right, I guess I should probably ask myself this question though. Do I also consider Wisconsin part of the Great Lakes region? And I would say
it's got two of them around it.
I would say that Wisconsin
As
maybe
is Minnesota
goes into both. Minnesota only has one Great Lake involved with it.
Man. All right. I was told
this
there'd be no geography today.
This is a rabbit hole that's already.
Next topic. What else do we have to talk about, Joel? I don't want to talk about this.
Well, 500 Nationals are going to be in Hibbing.
Okay.
In April. So.
Okay.
Cool. Love Hibbing.
Hibbing's cool. Literally and figuratively.
Yeah. I like Hibbing.
Yeah.
Some people would even call it cold.
So,
Depending
thing
upon
is,
the time of year.
are they
yes.
gonna? Is it all gonna be down? I assume it's all gonna be downstairs. They're not gonna have the arena, like because it'll
Depends
be.
what time of year. When is it?
It's April 19th, so it's gonna be after the last chance.
Oh, yeah, it's not
But
hockey
like 2
season
weeks.
anymore.
But it's
Yeah,
like 2
it's
weeks.
clubs.
It's like 2 weeks after the last chance.
It's
So
clubs,
would
though,
they-
right?
Yeah. Would they
You only
keep
need
it?
5 sheets. You
Yeah.
don't need
They probably
8
wouldn't.
bazillion sheets. So
Well, they
I think-
probably don't
would-
take the ice out though.
Well, they could keep. They could take the ice out downstairs and keep it upstairs.
Yeah, I bet you they play upstairs.
That'd be great.
That would be great.
Have it in the arena, and like part of the fun is playing on the left sheet there, to have your friends all in the hockey boards and
Swearing at you.
swearing at you and pounding the boards with good shots and bad shots.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right.
Last chance, a good time.
All right.
Good time.
What
Good
else?
time.
Sammy's Pizza. You can go to Sammy's Pizza while you're in here.
Yes.
Sammy's.
Love Sammy's.
Yes, get Sammy's. If you're in Eau Claire or Hibbing
Duluth.
or
Duluth.
Duluth, get yourself some Sammy's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We got the European Championship. They just won. People won something. Probably Scotland. I don't remember what happened. It was like 4 weeks ago.
Scotland won on the men's. Denmark won on the women's.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
That's right, Denmark.
We talked about this a little with your dad, and that was it.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. Yeah, that's the way it goes.
That's what it is.
Go
Okay.
figure. Bruce Mount figured out a way to win things.
Yep.
Shocker.
All right. That's all we got. And,
Wait a minute. There's got to be
what?
something else, isn't there? My kid won a junior
yeah,
bonds
right.
deal.
Yeah.
I knew there was something else we
Yeah.
talked about in the pre-planning production meeting 3 beers into our day.
Yeah.
My son Martin was picked up on a junior team in the U15 division
Okay.
of the Madison Curling Club Bonspiel this past
Is
weekend.
it competitive? Or like
No.
a developmental.
Developmental. There was
Developmental
competitive
division.
stuff going on at the
yeah.
same time.
They're different pools, right?
There
There's
was
development-
there was a recreational or developmental pool,
Okay.
and then there was like a play down pool.
All right.
And
Like it.
some
Martin
kids
Brown.
some kids from Ohio needed a team, needed a fourth player,
Fourth.
and so Martin got picked up,
Okay.
and little shit won his first bonspiel he ever played in.
Holy shit.
Yeah, good for him.
How old's Martin Brown?
11.
11.
11.
How old were you when you won your first Bonspiel?
Well, I won a family spiel.
Okay.
I don't know. I have no idea when I would have won a junior spiel. Maybe I never won a junior spiel. I don't even know if I won a junior spiel off the top of my head, but
I know things were different back in the day.
it was, yeah, my first ever bonspiel I won was the family spiel
Okay.
in 1983. I still have the trophy.
Love it. Was that the shop?
Yeah, it's at the shop. I
Nice.
pulled it out the other day and showed Martin while he was walking around with his little medal. I'm like, there's your first trophy. Here's mine.
Nice.
And but I have a funny story about that spiel.
Yeah. Okay.
The game was over
Yeah.
and I was sitting in the locker room and I'm like 8
Yeah. Okay.
and maybe I'm only 7 even. I don't know, depending on what time of year it was, I guess.
All right.
And I'm sitting in the locker room after the game to, put my. I didn't even have a slider. I don't know what I was doing. I was putting my broom in
you're
my
doing
dad's
something.
lockers. Like I used a belly flop delivery.
Maybe
that
you're
was my.
changing your pants. Who knows?
And I was all
Whatever you're
bummed
doing.
out. I was super sad.
Okay.
And I'm sitting on the bench next to my locker, and I'm all sad.
Yeah.
And my dad says, "What's wrong? We just, He said, "What's wrong?" He said, "Oh, I'm just, I wish we would have won." And he looks at me and he laughs and he says, "Well, we did win." And I said, "But we didn't score in the last end. We were winning by 5." And they scored 1, but we were winning by 5 or something like that. Like,
Sure.
and I can't remember the specifics, but
Yeah.
like I honestly I thought I didn't know how to keep score. I was only like 7 or 8 or whatever. And I was convinced that we lost and I was super sad, and I remember him like cheering me up and telling me, "No, we actually won."
Like maybe you scored maybe it was an 8-end game and you scored in like 2 ends. But in those 2 ends, you scored like 5 and 4.
I don't even
won,
like.
9 to
I don't
4
know.
or
I just know
something.
we
Yeah.
didn't score in the last end.
Sure.
And I thought that meant that we lost the game.
Got it.
But apparently we were up by plenty.
A bunch.
That it didn't matter that we didn't
You're up
score
by a
in the
bunch.
last end. Yeah.
Random out of rocks in the 8th. All right.
So.
Love it.
But yeah, he won at Bonsville. He was pretty
good.
excited. It was super fun though. Like, it was great that he just, randomly hooked on with these kids from Ohio. They were very friendly kids, and they had the girl on the team, Ella. I have no idea what her last name is.
It's fine.
What club are they from? Do you know?
Bowling Green.
Oh,
That's a fun club.
Swamp. Isn't it called Black Swamp Curling Club? Is that the name of it?
I believe it's a Bowling Green Curling Club.
I don't know.
And something about Black Swamp something. Anyway, Bowling Green. They're
Alright.
from Bowling Green.
Bowling Green.
And this girl had just the best smile. She was so excited and just had a smile from ear to ear. And I'm like, that's what junior curling's supposed to be about right there. This girl being so excited and pumped up that she just won a game. They were super lucky, but whatever. It doesn't matter. They won. Good
for them.
Like, they had fun. And they were lucky, but
Nice. You
like,
nailed it. Bowling Green Curling Club is the only curling club in Northwest Ohio. We curl at the Black Swamp Curling Center. New members are always welcome.
always.
There you go. Black Swamp Curling Club. Curling Center, excuse me.
Okay.
Cool. All right. I think that's all we got for the intro. So
Yeah.
Let's
All right,
talk to somebody. Who are we going to talk to tonight?
let's talk to Jess Schultz.
All right, we got a guest today. We won't even talk about all the other stuff that we talked about earlier. She was an Olympian, a national champion. She wears many hats for USA Curling right now, I think.
Two-time Olympian?
Two-time Olympian.
Two-time Olympian.
Two-time Olympian.
All right, well, I screwed it up already, but welcome to the show, Jess Schultz. Jess, how you doing today?
Fantastic. I'm so excited to be here with you guys. Thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We mentioned you wear many hats.
Including stocking hats.
Yeah, including
Including-
stocking hats. It's a pretty dope hat, by the way.
Mhm.
Yeah. And we have our
Thanks.
festive sweaters on. You have your festive shirt on. I like it. Adorned
Bow.
with a bow. Yeah, it's great.
And some
No, it's
poinsettias.
Perfect for the
And
Christmas
yes, I
season.
decorated for you guys.
Yeah, look at
Oh,
that.
that's
Got
nice.
a little feng shui here.
So
Just
nice.
setting the
So
tone.
much. Joel, why don't we have nice table pieces for the holiday season?
Happy holidays, Mike.
Happy
Happy holidays, Mike.
Joel.
Cheers.
Happy holidays, Craig.
Cheers.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers,
Cheers,
Jess.
Jess.
Thanks for
Cheers.
joining us.
Yeah.
Cheers. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you bet.
You might be overestimating the budget for this show, Mike.
Probably.
For decorations.
Yeah, sorry. You probably didn't have anything else to do either.
I shifted all the decorating budget over to beer, so
Got it. Sounds like a great move. Jess, let's talk about you rather than our decorating budget. What are you doing right now? You are not curling this year, are you? Not, at least not
I am not.
competitively.
No,
retired?
I haven't.
Are you tired, would you say?
Don't say that word.
Okay.
I'm not comfortable with it quite yet.
All right.
But my shoes have been in the closet for probably since 2017 as a competitive
Got it.
curler. But I did play club nationals in 2020.
Oh, that's right.
So,
Got COVID.
and
Did you get COVID?
I got COVID. Yeah.
I think everybody did, didn't
You
they?
were like the first person in the country, practically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people came back with it.
I was, you always try to turn, I always try to turn a negative into a positive, and our team came back, and we were top 20 in the state for getting COVID.
Nice.
So I was number 13. I was really pushing for that top 10 spot to test positive for COVID,
Okay.
but
Okay.
I'll take 13.
Sure.
hey, that's something.
It's pretty good.
And at that time, they dropped a thermometer off at our houses.
Yeah.
And we had to record our temperature and text the nurse twice a day what our temperatures were and for check-in. And then we couldn't be released until, and I apologize for my dog in the background, but we couldn't be released out into society again until the mayor wrote us a letter excusing us,
Whoa.
saying that we are no longer contagious.
Tell me you saved that letter.
Oh, I did.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That's great. That's actually probably one of the better COVID stories I've heard.
That's a good one. So, like, your team, were you the highest ranked COVID test person on your team, or did some of your team beat you in there to get in the top 10?
I was the highest ranked.
Okay.
Yes, and which is interesting because I tested last. So
Okay.
Whoa.
yeah, explain that one. I'm not
I don't
sure.
know.
It sounded like they sent 2 of the tests to like North Carolina. So, and mine was just to a lab in Juneau or in Seattle. But
Nice.
I don't know how that worked. But
All right.
yeah,
So
they said I dropped the Olympian card on the nurse when I went into test.
yeah, good idea.
So like, yeah, that's
Do you know who I am?
Opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, any opportunity.
So, like at one point, the curlers represented like 25% of all COVID cases in the state of Alaska.
We did, yes.
Good for you.
We did.
Way to
And we tried
represent.
to keep it under the radar. Well, and we were scared because we didn't want media or like, I don't know, people to find out because weren't sure of what the backlash would be, right? Like we traveled home not knowing that we had it. And then we immediately isolated, you know, because all of us had weird symptoms going on. So we're like, maybe we should just stay in and figure out what's going on. And then finally we were able to convince somebody to test us. And we did get contacted by the news because they wanted to talk about our silver medal at Club Nationals, which is a big deal for Alaska. And all of us were afraid that they wanted to hear about our COVID story. So we just said no to any interview. Like,
That's too bad.
Yeah.
Good and bad. It's kind of too
Yeah.
bad.
We found we found ways to make it funny and get through it. And you know, in that time when nobody else really had it, and it was a very scary moment, and not knowing, you know, what severity you have, and if you might not wake up, or you know what the news is telling you, and you know, we had the 3 and 4 of us to lean on, and even if Nurse Michael didn't feel like it was a good idea for us to get together during that time, we were like, well, we all have it.
You already got COVID, so like, yeah.
There you go. Good
Right?
point.
So
Nice.
I hosted a dinner party and made a really fancy meal, and but neither of us could taste it or smell it.
Got it.
Nice.
You should have just made something super lame and terrible, just to, you know, save the money. But
Boiled chicken and mashed potatoes.
yeah,
There you go.
like liver, like it's really healthy for you. It tastes like garbage, but
Yeah.
like,
Tabasco sauce.
yeah,
Yeah, there you go.
what the hell?
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, it was interesting. Still interesting, I guess. But
For sure.
anyways,
So
I
you're
didn't come on to
done?
talk about COVID with you guys.
Oh no, that's fine. It was good. That was actually a good story.
Yeah.
So you're not curling competitively, but you're
not.
coaching right now, correct?
Or are you in charge of the
I'm not-
coaches?
I'm I guess not even in charge. I work with and help and assist and part of the team behind the team as much as I can be. So mostly leading the junior programming from a junior program perspective. So with our junior development program, we started helping and assisting pretty much all the parents in curling and all the juniors as we can, and trying to figure out what that magic is at the junior level to help the pipeline grow.
Got
and
it.
then also involved with wheelchairs. So I've had some mini hats with that, had the opportunity to get to know some of our fantastic wheelchair athletes. And I was at the Paralympic Games and then most recently in Estonia with them. And then we'll be traveling again to Richmond for the World Championships. But I guess by definition, my actual job is more of an athlete services office job, and where I'm managing more relationships of those, I guess, sponsors and whatnot that support the teams. So you got the World Curling Federation, Columbia, United States Olympic Committee. So,
Nice.
And I just recently saw Thorn
Mm-hmm.
Thorn Wellness
Yeah.
is
Yes.
having a
Are they
discount.
shakes, right? Or no?
all kinds of supplemental
Yeah, nice.
stuff.
Supplements.
Athlete services.
uh,
So you
Yeah.
you
Let's-
make sure
let's
that the
ask
teams
Jess,
have
'cause
Capri
she
Sun and orange
probably
slices
knows.
at the break, right? Is that
No.
Orange slices and string cheese.
I'd say Thorn is the magic, and it has a little bit of everything that you could possibly need.
got it?
And all of our I shouldn't say all of our national teams, but the majority of our national team athletes use some type of product from them, and then we do use them at world championships and
Nice.
I use them as well. Like I make shakes and I don't know, take their vitamins.
Did you use Thorn for a while? Ever? No. Yes? Maybe.
That is a great question. I believe
Or should you have?
that I had some Thorn stuff, but I think they started when I was still in the program, working with USA Curling.
Got it.
But now I don't really remember. Like I just took like a multivitamin or some
Ibuprofen.
now I take a lot more ibuprofen than I did then.
That's the only vitamin I need to grow.
That's my main vitamin these days.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like,
Got it.
if you got any, spare vitamin D's, we're all lacking that in the northern hemisphere. So
Yeah.
send them our way
Yes,
to
send 'em our way.
I'll remember
Curling
that
Nation
next
at PO Box. Well, whatever.
Just send them to Steve's Curling. We'll get them. We'll get them
Got it.
eventually. It'll be fine.
It's on its way already. So
Yes.
I do
Great.
Awesome.
Yeah,
here for you.
when's USA Bocce is going to get sponsored by Tom's Pedialyte and ibuprofen? Like, it's got to be coming soon, right?
Hell, let's get some real sponsors on.
Yeah.
Come on, we need to have Dean on the show or something. Get some real sponsors.
Yeah, get Dean. We'll work on that one.
Yeah.
Senior Nationals
Can you imagine
brought
that
to you by
actually
ibuprofen.
happening? That would just
Advil.
throw the old. Yeah, curlers are athletes.
Start-
Sure they are. Ibuprofen and Tums. Nothing says
I heard if
athlete
you
like
throw it
those
out
two
on
things.
social media,
Yeah, right.
throw it out on social media with an @ sign, and I'm sure they'll pay attention and
Yeah.
retweet it or something.
Yeah. Well, it's like in Canada with the seniors sponsored by a funeral
Oh, yeah,
home
Everett,
company,
Everett Funeral.
Everest Funeral Concierge. Like that's the sponsor of the Canadian seniors.
Okay,
and
I know we have Jess on, but did you see that they had their club national championship in a mall?
I heard
There's an
that.
ice rink in a mall.
What?
That was awesome. I thought it was kind of cool.
That used to be the biggest mall in the world, I believe,
Really?
at one point. Yeah.
Nice.
For
Yeah,
North America?
the Canadian
Yeah.
club national championships. Like you were at clubs and got COVID. None
Right.
of these people got COVID allegedly.
Well, who knows? We'll see.
Well, as far as we know. But
Right.
They
there was
were
an
in
ice rink.
Alberta, which is like the Texas of Canada. So
Yeah.
maybe they did all come
Maybe
home
they
with
did
COVID.
all.
Who knows?
I don't know. Who cares?
Was
but
that
there's
the
an ice
Edmonton
rink.
Mall?
There's
Yeah.
an ice rink in the middle of this mall, and they made curling ice on it.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of cool. I saw one team like the sun because there's like a big sunroof over it. Like one team was wearing sunglasses because it was so sunny out on the ice. They're like, we had to wear sunglasses today. So
Fifth End Breaks brought to you by Sabaros and
Yeah.
Orange Julius.
yeah, there you go. You ever played in like? What's the oddest place that you played? You think?
Red
Jess?
Square.
Well, yeah, you played at Red
I played in
Square.
Red Square. That
Red
was
Square,
weird.
But yeah, Jess, where's
Jess,
some of
what
you?
about you? You got
you've played that's not a
like,
typical
off the
curling.
wall place.
Well, I guess most recently I was in Finland with the wheelchair team, and they had their main sheets is a hockey rink, and that's
Okay.
where the competition was taking place. And it was during the final of their game, and there's one sheet that's attached, but it's kind of walled off by
Yeah.
just wood pallets, basically. And so we threw rocks there, but we didn't realize the acoustics in the building, so people could hear us while we're messing around on this sheet of ice, and there was like a big open metal dome, and all of the fans on the other side could hear us messing around. So they could hear someone yelling at me to sweep, and then I'm like, no, I'm not sweeping, but I'm giggling, and they're saying, hurry hard, sweep, hurry hard, harder. And that's all that's coming out is hurry hard and me giggling. Which is terrible.
All
That sounds
all
awesome.
in English, so like maybe half of them are kicking it up.
Yeah. In Finland, they all speak
Finland,
English.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. That's a good story.
A pretty cool place that actually is in Alaska is Talkeetna, and they're becoming an official curling club, and it's an outdoor rink, but it's covered, and so they're just they're limited by the elements from
Right.
the ice perspective, but you could be out curling and there's a moose walking by, and this moose could come up and just watch you hang out and watch you curl. Sometimes I think last year they ended up with like 20 feet of snow within 24 hours, so they almost canceled, but we were like, the bonspiel must go on, and so they figured out a way to get the snow off. And then the year before, the sun was hitting in one spot that would create spots on the ice and melted down to the paint, and we had an elementary school day where we had all the elementary kids come out for field trips and curl. So they ended up with paint all over their snowsuits, and we sent them home basically covered in blue and red paint. And we're like, here, Mom and Dad, make them curl, help them become curlers.
Come back to curling. You'll love it.
Send them home with a little sheet after school, like how to get jet ice out of your kids' clothes.
Exactly.
Nice.
We're still scrubbing paint off of the brooms and the rocks.
Nice.
Wow, that's pretty cool though.
Talkeetna's a fun little town. I've been to Talkeetna. I spent a wonderful afternoon drinking beer at the Talkeetna Brewing Company, I believe it's called. Does that sound familiar, Jess? Is that what it?
Denali, yeah, it's the Denali.
Maybe
Brewing
it's
Company.
the Denali Brewing Company in Talkeetna. I don't know. It was like 80 degrees and sunny, and we just needed a break from like
I've been to that brewery.
being tourists, and so we just sat there and soaked in the sun and loved it. It was great.
Nice.
Watched all the people, all the other tourists.
Sounds wonderful.
That's a nice spot. I've been there before.
Have you?
Yeah.
Man, everybody's been to Talkeetna except you, Mike.
Except for me.
Yeah.
Big fat Luther.
I actually bought
February
a shirt
16th.
of the bus I got.
There
What's
you go.
February 16th?
February 16th?
The Bonspiel.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
Oh,
All right.
Bonspiel. Talkeetna Bonspiel. We're gonna have live music.
oh
The
man.
brewery makes the Sweeper's Brew, so it's a pilsner. It's delicious.
Are you going
the whole
back
town
for it?
gets involved with
Because
it.
you live in the cities now, Twin Cities.
I do.
Right?
Yes.
Are you going back for the outdoor bonspiel? Maybe.
I was hoping to. I think just the way everything's falling in line, it's not going to work this year, but hopefully next year.
Aw.
I know. It's tough.
Got it.
There's something like championship season going on at that time.
Lame.
It's like some other event.
Fine. Yeah. Okay.
I suppose,
okay.
you know,
I
doing
suppose if you're the athlete services coordinator, you
Doing
gotta
a
make
job
sure
you
that
get
there's
paid for.
Gatorade and whatever else that all the
Boo.
athletes need. So,
Spoiled ass
Alright.
athletes. They can get their own stuff.
do athletes drink Gatorade anymore, or is that like really antiquated? I feel like
Pedialyte.
Pedialyte.
Yeah, we're doing Pedialyte then.
Okay. I think there's so many better sports drinks, but Thorne probably makes one.
No, they make like the powders to mix
Yeah,
in
that's
with
what I
you
mean.
want.
Probably the powder
Okay,
is
sure.
Probably,
Yeah.
probably way less sweet and more
The
hydrating.
chocolate one isn't that bad. It's actually pretty delicious.
Is a chocolate sports drink? Like a
Well, it's
Gatorade?
protein
It's probably more of a
powder.
recovery
Protein
drink.
powder. Recovery.
It's probably more
beverage.
of a recovery drink.
Yeah, yeah, not down the Gatorade. I guess I haven't tried their
I would
in-sport
try.
drinks.
I would try a chocolate recovery beverage.
Mm.
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
What else we got?
Well,
I've had some ideas, but I thought it was funnier to just sit in silence.
Just sit in
Sit in
silence.
awkward
Just
silence.
Just watch me squirm while I try to come up with something.
It
to
was
talk
more
to
like
Jess.
everybody squirming a little.
Craig, tell a story.
It
Craig,
wasn't
tell a
just
story.
me.
Do something.
say something, you guys.
Jess, how old were you when you went to the Olympics the first time?
I had just turned 21.
Nice.
So my-
I have a fun
my-
story about Jess going to the Olympics. Well, sort of.
Well, let's hear it.
So which
we
Olympics?
had-
Which Olympics was that? That was
That was 06.
06,
Oh, six.
Torino games. Yeah.
6.
That turn. Yeah.
Let's give a shout out to
I-
your teammates. Who were your
Yeah,
teammates
who
in
were teammates?
2006?
I know they were.
My teammates in 2006.
No pressure.
Can I use maiden names or?
I think you should have to use both
think-
as a little quiz.
Yeah. Cassie Johnson Potter,
Okay.
Jamie Johnson, Haskell,
Haskell. I was going to help you.
Correct.
Maureen Brunt Clark, Courtney George Benson.
Is she
Gold star
going
for
by
you.
George Benson, or is she going by George, or is she going by Benson?
I think she
She's
goes
going
by
by
Benson.
Benson.
Lame.
Did you just say
I
lame?
thought-
That's a downgrade in names.
It's challenging because they're all in my phone by their maiden names.
Yeah,
So-
no, I get
and-
it. I get it.
And like Courtney wants Benson on the back of her uniform. I'm like, I can't do it. So I just can't. So I have to put Coach back there versus Benson because it's weird not to have George back there.
Just
But Mike, you tell your funny story, and then I'll tell you guys a funny story.
I'm not sure it's a
about
funny
after
story.
I won the trials.
I just remember we had an event because for some reason or another, I think energy prices were spiking. And this is the Madison Cash Spiel had like it was like a pro-am on, it was like Wednesday night or Thursday night. And you could pay money to curl with a celebrity skip. I think it was just kind of to raise money for heating costs for the curling club that year. And I didn't really know a lot of people in the field. So I ponied up some money and I curled with Debbie. I curled with Debbie because she was there and I knew who Debbie was.
Okay.
And we ended up curling against Jess and Courtney that night. I don't remember who curled with Jess and Courtney, but I distinctly remember curling against Jess. I barely knew who she was. I tried to buy them both a beer. I'm not sure either of you were of age, and I had no clue. And yeah, it was great. They both could not have been more gracious. It was a fun game. Yeah. That's
All right.
I mean, it's not a very good story, but I said I had
It's a great story.
Great story.
All right, what's your story, Jess? It's probably better than mine.
It's
I set
kind
the
of
bar
funny.
low.
Thanks, I appreciate it. So we had just won the trials, and we weren't expected to win. And we beat, I'm sorry, Debbie, but we beat Debbie in the final in an extra end. Cassie had to draw the fours, and she just barely stuck around for it. But then I was not of age yet, and the House of Hearts was coming up in a couple months, right? I think it was like in March.
Yeah.
And I was a waitress at the Duluth Curling Club at that time. So I worked the House of Hearts. So here I
Nice.
win the Olympic trials, and I go back to serve alcohol to Debbie and Natalie.
Who were at the House
Who
of
were
Hearts
so
because they...
salty
Oh man.
about it. You know what, though? They weren't the only ones who were salty. Every single person who played in those trials and didn't win was salty at you for having won. And I think took some pride or some solace in the fact that you were the one that was having to bring us drinks all weekend.
I believe so. It's like, keep it coming.
Yeah, I was one of them. I don't think I was nearly as salty as like Deb and Ann and Natalie would have been, but yeah, I was there too, I think.
Do you recall how good your tips were that weekend?
I think I made a pretty good amount to make sure that I wanted to waitress every year regardless.
Yeah.
But at some point they decided that I couldn't waitress anymore. I had to start playing in it.
I
Lame.
don't remember the men's final. You lost in the men's final too, right?
I lost the men's final, yeah. And you want to hear a great story about that day?
Yes.
Yes.
So I get off the ice and I'm pissed because we lost
Yep.
to go to the Olympics. And I get the random drug test.
Yep.
I'm the only one on my team, I think. Maybe they took everybody on the winning team and 2 people from my team, or maybe they only took 1 person from the losing team.
Okay.
But we all go into the same locker room, and, the rest of the team that won, Fenson, Polo, Rojeski,
Yeah.
Schuster, you can't blame them, but they are on cloud 9.5.
Right.
And they're sitting 15 feet away from me And
This is
I'm
probably
like,
like
I
a
gotta
half
get
hour.
this. I gotta get out of this stupid ass locker room and finish this drug test.
Right.
And I pee in the cup, and I'm like 5 milliliters short
Oh no.
of pee, because you gotta have a certain
yeah,
amount.
it's gotta have a certain amount, right? Yeah.
And like I just like I didn't know that I had to go very bad, but I'm like, I gotta get out of this locker room, so I'm gonna try.
Yeah.
And I try, and I'm just short. And I have to sit in that freaking locker room for like 30 more minutes before I can pee again.
Yeah.
To get enough to like go over the limit so that they actually have a usable sample. And that was about the most miserable 30 minutes of my life.
I can only imagine.
My team was
probably
like
right
6
after the
drinks into their
Yeah.
like post game morning, and before I even got out of the locker room.
Oh, that sucks.
I didn't even I went out of the women's locker room, which is where they were doing the drug testing.
Yeah.
I walked out of the women's locker room, and instead of walking into the men's locker room to like change clothes and go drinking, I was so like frazzled from my experience in the men's locker room that I just walked straight to the bar area, still wearing my curling stuff, and started my drinking. And I probably had a couple drinks before I then decided to go and change clothes.
Nice.
So,
Got it.
yeah.
Yeah, that's that drug testing thing.
How many times do you think you got drug tested in your life, Jess?
I'd say I did maybe 10-ish, somewhere in there.
Okay, I'd say I was
they've
probably
come
in that
to-
neighborhood.
Yeah, they come to my house came to my house at interesting times. Mostly when I didn't have to go to the bathroom. So then
Always, almost always.
Then you invite them in and you sit at the table and make small talk.
Yep.
But yeah.
Chuck. I think I had a guy named Chuck who came to my house a few times.
Yeah.
And he was like, once I was actually like, he would come early in the morning, and because I gave a small window of when I was available, because I didn't want to like have to be in a certain spot in theory all day long.
Sure.
And
So they tell you when they're gonna like.
no, they don't tell you necessarily,
right, but
but you give them like a couple hours where
Of a typical day.
of a typical day where
Okay.
I'm all right at from 6 to 8 a.m. I am here.
You're at home getting ready
And-
for work and then going to work.
And then so I had this guy who used to show up early, and so one day he like rings the doorbell and wakes me up, and then like all right, well, I'm just getting out of bed. I gotta pee. Like that was the quickest one ever. Like it took like he was out the door in like 10 minutes. There was a different time where I was going to the bathroom when the doorbell rang.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It was like then I'm like, I wonder who's here, And I walk down, I'm like, no, Chuck, no. So Chuck had breakfast, like he watched me eat breakfast and watched me get my kids ready for their day, and we hung out for like, I don't know, this was like a solid hour and a half before I had to go to the bathroom again.
I guess I have a weird question. Maybe Jess can answer. Are juniors in this program? Do juniors have to get drug tested?
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Okay.
Not anymore. They used to. The champions used to, and it's kind of up to USADA now. Like we'll send them our competition schedule, and they'll elect which ones that they'll come to.
Got it. Because I would imagine with the junior it has to be like the tester and a parent, or no?
Parent
Or-
or designated adult.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Okay.
they usually, yeah.
Got it. So I don't. They're not as strict on that. Got it. Okay.
My favorite time I was tested. If you could have a favorite time.
Oh yeah, sure you
Oh,
can.
I mean, you gotta.
Yeah. So Courtney and Maureen and I were moving to Bemidji, and so we got a U-Haul. Maureen was in Madison at this time. A U-Haul that started in Madison, then drove and picked up Courtney and I in Duluth and all of our stuff. And we are literally pulling into our new apartment in Bemidji, and the USADA crew was sitting there waiting for us. And we hadn't even been into the apartment yet, let alone we didn't have toilet paper yet either. So we had to meet the neighbors that way. We had to go and ask the neighbors.
Hey, we've got people here that gotta watch us pee. Do you have any toilet paper? We're the Olympians from next door, by the way.
Right. By the way, nice to meet you. Yeah. Yeah. So, drug story.
Can you imagine the stories those people tell? Yeah. So these Olympians showed up.
Needed toilet paper. That's a really good drug testing
Pretty
story.
good story. I mean, as good a drug testing story as one can probably have.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh man.
I got some from the military, but they're not quite as exciting.
Yeah, probably
So
not. Nothing about the military is exciting, Joel.
sometimes
Sometimes.
the stuff we do not at work itself.
Yeah, that's probably true. Fair.
Well, I got a different question. Can I go?
Yep.
Before I forget, did you win any junior championships?
No.
No. Okay.
I do not have a name. My name is not on the junior trophy. I don't.
Neither is
we didn't even
Craig's.
win a medal.
Oh, it is. It is still there. Pep
Is it?
checked.
Did you
Pep
confirm?
check. It is now.
Pep checked. It's still on there.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
Screw you guys.
Well, we had to give you a little backstory, Jess. We had an episode last year where who was on? Was it?
Mike Poplinski.
Oh yeah, Mike
Pep.
Poplinski was on, and they were worried that like the trophy is only so big, and they're gonna have to start taking nameplates off, and Craig and Mike might not be on it anymore. So they were a little worried.
Yeah, we decided that we would start a fundraising campaign to make the trophy bigger if we needed to make sure that our names stayed on there.
It's funny you guys are bringing that up because that's an internal thing that we've been talking about right now is our trophies. And we had to get them picked up and brought to Plover so they could get fixed because the men's trophy is so much bigger than the women's trophy.
Okay.
And so we were like, how do
And
you...
it keeps falling apart too.
Yeah. So do we take the bottom off of the men's or... So we're just going to make the women's bigger. This is what's going to end up happening, which makes sense. But the men's trophy is almost falling apart. It's hard to find anybody that will actually fix trophies anymore. Yeah, so that's been a thing. We've been trying to figure out the trophy situation and what to do about that.
Got it.
All
Well, I
right,
think
CurlingNation, if you know
that
somebody who fixes trophies, email the show.
yeah, we'll pass the info
Get you in
on.
touch with Jess and USA
Please.
Curling, and we
Appreciate
get
that.
the trophy fixed.
Or
Yeah,
new
and the
sponsorship,
boxes.
new sponsorship opportunity. The Pedialyte men's trophy.
It's got to stay the same trophy though.
Malort
I think that the
Malort Curling Championship trophy brought to
Yeah.
you by.
Yeah.
I think that the women's one probably needs an upgrade.
Yes.
But I think that men's one, even if it is in some terrible condition, I think it's a really cool trophy. Like it's maybe big and stupid, but like it's got like a lot of history to it, and knowing that it's been that big monstrosity of a thing since the 50s is like I think that's really cool.
How many dents have you been responsible for?
I don't think I've been
trophy?
responsible for any dents. Thank
Don't
you very
worry
much.
about it. That's not
It's
relevant to the
incredible.
show, Joel.
But like it's a
it's funny.
cool trophy, and I hope
Yeah,
that
it's
it.
really cool.
I hope that trophy stays, and I hope the women's gets one that is equally cool that can kind of stand the test of time.
Absolutely. I think that's obviously that's the goal. Like we want to keep the history and the tradition alive and keep that there. And like you said, there's a lot of history on that trophy. It's an incredible trophy for sure. And someday we will have a place where we have like a hall of fame where trophies will be housed and you can come and they'll be in fancy glass cases, kind of like maybe I would say Green Bay and their trophy in the Packers trophy case, but that's
You
tough for
should
me to
say
talk
that.
about from the Vikings.
Yes,
But
you
Yeah.
should say that.
It can't be the like it can't replicate the Vikings trophy
Ain't none in
case.
there.
they're the Vikings, but so it's definitely hopefully getting a little love right now and some TLC, and we'll have it at the championships, obviously coming up here in Denver. But if anybody does make trophy boxes, we could use an upgrade on our trophy boxes, and those things are bears to kind of move around.
As in, like a shipping box? Is that you need a shipping
yeah,
box?
a shipping box.
All
Yeah,
right, so
shipping box.
we just need a solid craftsman woodworker person.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
We can do that.
All right, somebody on the show might.
CurlingNation, yeah, get in touch with us. Somebody familiar with like expanded foam and woodworking. Get in touch with CurlingNation.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure there's
Hell
somebody
yeah.
out there.
What's the dog's name? And where is the dog?
Yeah.
My dog, her name is Grizz, like grizzly bear. So it
Okay.
comes from the territory from Alaska, and she does live up to her name. So we've had some challenges, but right now she's in her kennel. So she's trying.
That's
really
why
hard to
she's
make it
barking.
bad for her.
Yeah.
Well, she barks even when she's not in the kennel, which is more like at my face and telling me to pay attention to her.
Okay.
So it's definitely
Got it.
when Joel said the time,
Yeah.
it's witching hour for her. It's like this is
man.
her go time. Like she
Got
needs
it.
to be doing something.
How? Speaking of grizzly bears, how many grizzly bear encounters have you had in your life?
I have thankfully had not had a direct encounter with a grizzly bear. I've seen a handful of them from
Okay.
a distance, from a safe space. The black bears, that's a whole different situation. I have been a little close for comfort to those guys, but they were nice. They just said hi and went back into the woods.
Got it.
So,
Do you have to like in Alaska where you lived? Did you have to like check the yard before you let the dog out to go to the bathroom or whatever? Like every time, it's like just something you learn to do.
And just something, yeah, it's the part of growing up there, living there, especially like in town, not as much, but in town was more about the moose. So you just check, make sure there's not a moose standing in your backyard.
Did you live
Let the dog out.
Or were you an in-towner or an out-of-towner?
I was mostly an in-towner.
Mostly an in-towner. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
where my brother lives now, they have caribou, moose, bear, and they have 3 little ones under 5. So they have to check diligently around the house and make sure that there's
Whoa.
no critters out there before the boys go out to play. But
I like how you call moose and caribou and bears critters. Like,
Just wait. Just
Like
wait
most
until-
people would
just wait
consider
until your brother's
squirrels
kids
critters,
get to the right
but-
age, and they won't even check because they'll be like, if a bear gets one of them, it's okay. Like, or it just depends on. If my son just turned 13, I guarantee if there was a moose out in the yard, I'd just be like, yeah, just go, man. It'll be fine. The moose got him. Whatever.
that's a terrible thing to say.
I know it's terrible.
yeah.
It just depends on the day. Love that kid, but sometimes the moose got him.
Be okay.
But you know the
Yeah.
thing. It sounds like with your luck though, Mike, that the moose wouldn't get him. He would all of a sudden you look out the window, he'd be riding the moose.
No, my luck is the moose would just hurt him enough that it would cost me like $1 bazillion at the doctor's office, and then,
You would deserve that for
I
sending
would
him out
deserve
there.
that for
Yeah.
saying that. Yes,
Sure.
I think that's karma. Is that karma?
Yeah.
That's karma, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
No. All right. Yeah.
Can I have a beer when you have a chance?
Yeah. You definitely
Thanks.
can have a beer.
Yeah.
Oh, I had a question. I lost it.
I'm sorry.
Lost it?
It's my fault.
No, it wasn't your fault.
Distracted by the beer. What kind of beers? You got PBR,
I got Pabst on
Yeah,
that. This my first
Point
one was a
Amber.
point.
Amber?
And a seasonal local sour. I've got a
And whatever this-
seasonal local
Bourbon stout, something.
bourbon porter, bourbon aged porter. Yeah,
This is really good.
yeah. We've got all kinds of things.
What are you drinking tonight, Jess?
Interesting mix.
Yeah, well, we're an interesting mix of guys. That's the way it goes.
That's accurate. That's an accurate statement. This is interesting. So I'm drinking a whiskey. It's called. It tastes like peanut butter. It's called Peanutty. So and then I
Yeah.
drink it with like tea. So it's
With tea.
hot
What
water
kind of
and a little bit
tea?
of
Like a green
honey.
tea or a...
No, I drink it like tea, so it's hot.
Oh, you drink it
Oh,
like tea?
you drink it
Yeah.
hot. Oh,
Yeah, so I drink it
yeah.
hot with like either hot water and like the tonight's little hot water and little honey. But sometimes you do like hot chocolate and some peanutty.
Hot water, honey, and peanut butter whiskey.
And a little bit of chocolate.
It's delicious.
This is a local
Yeah.
peanut butter whiskey?
There's several
I
out,
mean,
of
I've
them
heard of
out there.
Screwball, but I've not heard
Yeah.
of more peanut butter whiskeys.
I
there's
don't
a couple
know
out
anything about peanut butter whiskeys, but I
don't?
can
Yeah.
very much confirm that drinking a little whiskey in your tea is a thing,
Okay.
because my wife will do that anytime she has a cold. Like,
Really?
that is her version of NyQuil. She will make herself a tea and put some honey in there and a shot of bourbon or something.
Nice.
And
Do you have a name for your beverage?
That's
or
her jam.
It's just whatever floats your boat.
Peanutty, I guess.
Peanutty.
Peanutty.
I like it. I'm gonna have to try
But
this.
I'm on board. That's my go-to.
I'm trying this.
Um,
Warm water, peanut butter whiskey, and honey. I'm trying it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not tonight, but sometime soon.
But along Lynn's line is that's my go-to. I put just a plain whiskey, hot water, lemon, a little bit of honey, and some ginger, and maybe some cayenne pepper just to make it interesting. I don't know.
Whoa.
I don't think she does the pepper, but maybe I'll tell her about that, and she'll add
Yeah.
that to her
Or
repertoire.
maybe you can tell her when you ask her about spandex Christmas dresses.
I will.
Just
I will.
start the conversation. Just, hey, just spitballing here. But
My wife not only drinks whiskey and tea when she has a cold, but she also has fashionable curling Christmas sweaters.
She does.
Skirts,
Dresses.
Dresses.
That is not
Yeah.
a sweater.
It is
Which-
definitely a dress.
which I am
It's
wearing
fantastic.
tonight because
Yeah.
I don't have a Christmas sweater.
Yeah, if you're listening, you should definitely check out the YouTube version of this show just for today. 'Cause we
Just to see Craig's Christmas
dining hall.
dress.
Yes, see Craig's Christmas dress. We are very handsome. I have my llamas with the tassels on the hat. And Joe's sporting his natty light.
Natty.
Light sweater. And Jess looks outstanding as always. So yeah, definitely check
I-
out the. Yeah, she's.
I have the red shirt that I have in my closet and a bow. Just a-
I
Perfect.
think it's very seasonal. It's wonderful. Yeah.
You got a stocking hat on. It looks like festive. So,
Yeah, I try to
Christmas,
channel the
yeah.
weather that's going on outside too.
what's going on? Is it you getting a bunch of snow?
Not yet. They've been saying we're
Soon.
gonna get it, but so
Okay.
far it's just been rain and
Okay.
sideways.
That's what we got here too. Just some kind of drizzly garbage.
Got it. Well, we have had a wonderful interview, and we're not kicking you off yet because we've got some questions that we ask every one of our guests.
So don't feel special.
So don't just hang up on us yet.
I really was getting excited. I thought I was the only one.
Oh no. All right. How did you start curling? That's we didn't really touch on that.
That's a good question. So, traditionally a lot of people started because their grandparents and parents started and all of that. Mine was a little different path. Our neighbor did it, and just kind of as a broom ball bowling league type thing, and told my parents about it, and they thought it would be a good family night for us. So the four of us went out and tried curling, and my mom decided very quickly that she's better behind the glass and she likes to be our number one cheerleader, and I absolutely hated it. So my dad said,
Yes!
"I'm gonna do it."
Me too. I hated it too.
You did hate it.
I did.
remember that
That's
story.
awesome.
Yes. So the first year it was like pulling my hair out just to get to the club, and after the next season, I don't know what happened. I just fell in love with it, and I was hooked after that. And
Nice.
went to junior nationals because we were in Alaska at that time. I was state represented, so we were able to go every year.
Yes, sign up and go. That's how I went.
That sounds like Joel's
Yeah.
path to greatness.
GLCA,
Yeah.
sign up and go.
Sign up and go. Alaska always had a representative, and last place every time. Like, I think we got wrapped on the board at least the first 2 years. Probably scored a couple points here and there, but didn't really start
Sounds
winning
familiar.
later.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Been there a
Yeah.
couple times.
Yeah, and then at that point, I decided I was going to be an Olympian. So
So what
And
age
that worked
did,
out pretty well.
Yeah, what
Yeah.
age
Worked
did
pretty well.
did you start?
I was 12
12?
to 13. The only one in the
12,
high school. the
12
only
to
one that
9 years. 9 years of curling, and you're an Olympian. Man.
Yeah.
9 years of getting your ass kicked after signing up and going, and then boom, you're going to
Boom,
Italy.
Going to the Olympics.
Yeah.
Piece of cake.
I should have gone to the Olympics like 2 times over
Yeah.
now.
We're,
I'm not very good.
You're
so
not
that-
very
that-
good.
No.
our histories
Not at all.
were very similar until that one point. You went like that, I went like that. So yeah.
And where did you start curling? For those who don't know.
Yeah, I started in Anchorage, Alaska. And then so it's a small 2-sheet club. Always great membership there. The next closest curling club is Fairbanks, so 6 hours away. And then the next one from there would be Whitehorse, which I think it's like 13, 16 hours, something like that.
Holy shit.
Whoa.
So
It's a
I
long
was
ways.
one of 3 junior women for the longest time in our club that competed, and then I would just pick up my friend from high school and be like, "Hey, you're coming curling," and we'd pick her up on the way to the club. We kind of didn't really give her a chance.
Nice.
You're
Nice.
coming. But
Got it.
yeah, so we have Alaska has a great representation of competitive curlers, but I'm the only one out of Anchorage itself. Everybody's from Fairbanks. And Fairbanks has a fantastic junior program and some legacy members there that are still teaching juniors at that point. And I mean, everybody knows like Colin and Vicky Persinger is from there. We got Cora Farrell. And of course, I'm going to blank on names right now as I'm talking to you guys. Anna O'Hara, Anna is from there. So a lot of teams, a lot of players up and coming that have been on the team. And it was really cool last Olympics. I was on staff, but to get to go with Vicky and Colin to the Olympics with them. So I thought it was pretty special. And
That's pretty cool.
I don't know. I'm definitely Alaska pride here.
Yeah, for sure.
It's cool.
Yeah. But
Other
it's growing
than-
up there. We have a couple new clubs. We have an arena in Palmer, Alaska. We have an arena in Homer, Alaska. We're looking, Talkeetna is starting one. Anchorage is dedicated. Fairbanks is dedicated. And then we just did some Learn to Curls in Soldotna, which is another town. So you guys will have to put it on the Bonspiel calendar at some point to come up
Totally,
there.
I would totally try and come to that outdoor one. That sounds fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's not in the cards this year, but
I like Alaska.
No.
well,
Yeah.
I mean,
I want to come up for the international in Fairbanks at the end of the year.
Yes.
I hear that's quite
Yes.
the party.
That's the party. All right.
When
Quite the event.
It's like mid-April, late April. So I don't
I'd say
know.
mid, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Because
Might be.
you could make the week of it. You could do the spring spill in Anchorage, and then do the international the following weekend, and get those both in.
I could be our
She talks like
Yeah.
my liver is younger than it is.
Yeah. to go from House of Hearts to that.
That's okay. We'll figure
Yeah.
it out. We'll
figure it out.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
All right.
Road
So-
trip,
Yeah.
it'd
Yeah.
be even better.
Yeah.
Other than your home club, where do you like to curl at?
Phrase that differently. What's your favorite club other than your home? Any
your-
club that you've ever considered your home club?
Yeah, which is
Yeah.
probably
Quite a few.
4 or more.
There's quite a few of them. Yeah, I guess Duluth probably. Like Duluth.
No, that was your
No,
home
you
club
probably
for a
consider that a
while.
home club for you.
That was my
some
home
point,
club
yeah.
for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, so
I
that
like,
doesn't count.
okay,
Throw it out.
I like Frogtown, to be honest.
All right.
Frogtown
Okay.
Curling Club. Yep.
First shout out to Frogtown, I think, for the.
Yeah, for
Nice.
your favorite club.
I hear Frogtown's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Never been.
It's known as the Fun Club.
I've heard good stories.
Oh.
Nothing like
Yeah.
in all of your travels, Frogtown. Just Frogtown gets it.
Well, I mean, I can't. So, I have a hard time picking favorites. So I could say like
It's
Infern,
me. It's
you know.
me. I'm your favorite. Yes.
Wherever Craig was, that's my favorite curling club.
That's my favorite. I enjoyed going to the Olympics with Craig and traveling and.
Yeah.
It's very
So.
heavy as the cross, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool.
All right. Do you have a favorite Bonspiel? And if yes, why? I mean, you should have a favorite Bonspiel. And
Oh
why?
boy. I haven't yes. The House of Hearts is always a good one, right? That's usually an annual staple. The Lupus Spiel, I enjoy the Lupus Spiel and the cause that it goes to, and Regan's done a phenomenal job to raise awareness for lupus and the Lupus Foundation that she started. And that's one that I try not to miss. If I can help, I'll be there.
Yeah.
Come for the spiel, stay for the bacon.
Play your cards right, and we'll play your cards right, and we'll pick you as a celebrity skip next season. And we had a lot of fun last Lupus Summer Spiel. So
what does she have to do to play her cards right?
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know. I mean, you're kind of dangling something out there with no help.
Carrie Cooey said she would pay to have us as her team next year. So, I mean, we had a lot of fun on the ice.
That seems like
backwards.
That feels like I'm supposed to give my money to you guys to give.
You don't know how much fun we had last year, so.
That's true. That's true. What if I just do like high fives versus money?
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We'll talk offline.
I was gonna say, let's talk offline. Can I have my people call your people?
Yeah. Yes. Do that. We'll work it out.
You guys don't have people.
She's got Grizzly.
True story.
She might. You guys don't.
She might. I don't.
Yeah. Other than money and championships, what's the best thing you've won?
I've been thinking about this question. There's been a couple, but then I listened briefly to, I think, like Wayne's story.
It's
not a competition.
It's not a competition.
It kind of is.
Weird, but it's kind of
is.
If you can, if you can top water skis, like I like it.
I can't. But let me know if this is a normal thing or not. So I want a cooler.
That's a good price.
That's a good prize.
Yeah. It's like a Costco, like when you could choose the prizes, it just looked like an aisle at Costco. Like that was the prizes you could choose from, and I chose a big oversized cooler.
Cool. Do you still have that cooler?
One you can fit like a dead body in, like a huge one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
well, it's mostly for my
good
fish.
Price.
So
it's for your fish.
Fish cooler.
Fish body. Yeah.
Let's talk about fishing.
I would love to go fishing.
Do you do the dip net fishing, or do you go out and fish with a line, or what do you do?
So the dip net fishing is only for Alaska residents.
Right.
And that was the exciting moment when I moved back home the last few years, is because in order to be able to fish that, you have to be a resident for 2 years. So that 2-year mark, that was the first thing I was out dip netting then with my brother on his boat. Yes. And that's insane. Like it's crazy because we definitely, like my family, our subsistence, like we catch enough fish to last us through the winter, and we make sure like we have my mom has it counted down and calculated to how many packages of shrimp they have per week and fish, and so that's when we're catching fish. So when I say this number, it's not like we're just catching all these crazy fish, but we actually eat it and we do a lot with it. But we're catching like 80 fish a day, and you can just go out. So you're waiting for the tide to come in. So the tide comes in, and then all of a sudden, and we're in the river boat, but the tide's coming in from the ocean, and all of a sudden there's just ripples in the water of these fish that come in, and then you see them coming, and then you just drop your net in the water, and it's just as fast as you can get them in and out of the boat, in and out of the net. And then my brother's funny, so
it's amazing.
This sounds absolutely amazing.
It makes me want to move to Alaska just for that, so I can go hang out with Greg. And when he goes dip net fishing. Because I said, can I just come along sometime? He's like, nope, you're not allowed on the boat. Like, you're not an Alaska resident. You can't even go on the boat.
You can't even go on. Because that's what I was thinking.
No, like, you can't even go along. Like, maybe you could watch from shore.
So do you have like a net on, is it a net on a stick? You just like scoop it? Or is it like
it's just, so you think of your normal fishing net.
Yeah.
But it's
okay, like, I don't fish at all, so like.
How big is the net?
Well, like, okay.
Yay.
Are you a mosquito catcher? It's like 6 foot. Probably I can stand almost in the net.
Okay. You can stand in the net?
Bigger than I thought.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Well, it's probably like, I might be exaggerating. It might be like 4 feet in diameter, and then it's probably 6 to 8 feet long. For the handle. So like it's like you're sore from holding this thing.
Somebody has to Facebook Live this. I need
plus,
to see this.
you're like
you can find videos for sure.
Plus that's got to be a lot of weight.
Yeah.
They
How
just
many
zoom
how
in.
many fish can you get in this net at what's the most fish you've ever pulled out at once?
I think I had 3 in there at one point.
That's a
But
lot of
not
king salmon.
usually. It's like as soon as they hit, you just try to pull them out because you don't want them to back out of it. So
Sure.
you just try to get them in and out of the,
All right.
yeah.
That sounds
And my
amazing.
brother's funny because it gets intense. Like it gets intense, just like as fun intensity, right?
Right.
Just, like try to get them, and then
Okay.
sometimes the gills get stuck in the net and the fins and stuff. But my brother just drives the boat because we don't really anchor depending on what the tide is doing.
Sure.
So he just steers and makes sure, and it's like traffic central. So there's other boats and you're jockeying for positions and it's like this competition. So my brother's there and he's steering the boat, and then he just starts like going off on us and yelling at us if we're not catching him fast enough.
Yeah.
This sounds amazing.
I can
So I'm trying
imagine
not to
that
get
there is just
stressed
a ton of profanity.
All right, instead of watching cat videos at work, I'm going to watch dip net fishing at work
Dip
tomorrow.
net
Dip
fishing.
net fishing
Dip net
videos.
fishing.
So this
It's
is going to be
fun.
outstanding. All right.
Yeah.
Well, this might answer the next question. What's a skill or talent outside of curling that people should know about you? I mean, it's probably
That would be
dip
one
net.
of them.
Dip net
Yeah.
Net
fishing queen.
That's a pretty good answer.
That's a great answer.
I can guarantee you, no one said that on the
Yeah,
podcast.
probably.
And
We
no
had
one.
Colin on, but
We had
never
Colin
went
on,
to
he didn't
dip
say
net
it.
fishing, so
I don't know
You
if
didn't talk
Colin
about
does it.
No,
know.
it's
Who
different
does it?
area for sure.
different area.
The other one is shrimping. I've shrimp, like we catch shrimp. So kind
it.
of like bubble gum style, but not really. And that's the opposite. So it's opposite of dip netting. So dip netting is like fast paced and hurried. Shrimping is different. So we go and we drop pots. And so we're shrimping and we're working really hard because we drop these pots and we let them soak for about 8 hours or 12 hours or kind of however long, whatever we're doing. And then we just hang out and we go to lunch and we sit by a glacier and watch float planes come in and sleep on the boat. And there's whales and porpoises and it's pretty incredible.
Sounds amazing.
But
All right.
yeah, and then you pull up and then you go and you pull up your shrimp pot and there's shrimp in there, hopefully.
Hopefully.
You might
All right.
be the best outdoors. I'm gonna say outdoors person who's ever come on the show. I mean, you're probably just
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, for sure.
I have a different question related to fishing
Do
in
it.
Alaska.
Okay.
What do you know about this like crab shortage where they had to close the whole crab fishing season? Do you know anything about this? Like,
I
what's going
haven't
on?
heard about it.
Did you get them all or
We might have caught them all. Yeah, we were pretty hungry last year.
all right?
Yeah.
But it doesn't surprise me, and I think that just kind of ebbs and flows. They've had like king salmon shortages, so they shut the rivers down, and then they'll open them up just based
Wow.
on numbers and based on what they're trying to protect them. Same with bears and other animals. So they
it.
just kind of watch the numbers and make sure they're
Hmm.
not going extinct, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Give
Sorry.
them time
I,
to procreate.
I got off topic a little
That's
bit
okay.
there.
No, I mean,
Okay.
I'm gonna definitely talk to her after the show. I want to go caribou hunting at some point. Maybe she can hook me up. So.
Maybe.
There we go.
All
Yeah.
right. You're not curling as much now, but you were a very accomplished curler when you were curling. What helped you along the way in becoming a better curler?
A lot of help, just people in general. So I think one of the things that helped me is I talked about it. So I shared my goal with people, and those around me kind of bought into it and helped and assisted in any way they could. So for example, when I moved to Duluth, that club was amazing and they just took me in under their wing and gave me a job. And then I could just practice right after I got off my shift. Club members there helped give me advice. I would say I'm not the only one that will speak to this, but Jim Dexter was unsurmountable as far as how much he helped me. He was my go-to person anytime that I needed help with my delivery, and he was the only one I would really take serious feedback from. So just having people in place that really helped and supported them in my goal. And then hard work, right? Like I was out there practicing while people were in behind the bar and just really determined to reach that goal to get to the game. And doing different things. I think at that time, a lot of people were still counting rocks for practices, where like how many rocks they were throwing. versus like really throwing with intention. So
Quantity
every time I
versus
threw
quality, and you shifted
exactly.
it. Got it. Yeah,
Shifted
for
it.
sure.
And whether I don't think I invented that by any means, but I knew maybe that was from playing other sports, that's what I needed to do at that time to get better. And I would put headphones in and really zone in and really focus on whatever that one thing or two things I needed to work on in that practice.
Yeah, that's a good. Love that answer.
Did you listen to music in those headphones?
I did. It was usually, it wasn't music that I could sing along to because that's usually distracting for me. So it was usually like violin music, actually, or like piano music or something that was calming. And then I would listen to that and then also work on my breathing. So that was kind of two things that I would kind of go to just to kind of get in a state of mind that I could calm whatever.
That's some high
was
level
down.
shit there.
That is high level. Man.
I never liked listening to music while I was practicing or having headphones on because I felt like, and I don't know how many people feel the same way. Like, I also never liked curling in a stocking hat because I felt like it impeded my, like, partially the hearing and partially the feeling of, like, how fast am I moving?
Oh.
Like, I think that it slightly screwed up my weight if if my ears were all covered or if I wasn't able to actually hear, like, the difference in what my slide sounds like this time compared to last time. So anyways, I don't know. That's an interesting.
That's interesting too.
That is very interesting.
Maybe I just wasn't very good and I needed to be able to listen or something. I don't know.
Or something.
I mean, you were pretty.
I was
you were
handsome. But...
You were handsome. You still are handsome, Craig. Don't say
cut it out.
That's just because you're
Especially in your dress.
That's
tonight.
just 'cause
You're
you're
very
dressed.
handsome in your dress.
All right.
Anyway, sorry.
Next question. You're going to a Bonspiel.
This was a fun one.
Yes.
You can bring whoever you want, living, dead, curler, non-curler, doesn't matter.
Where are you taking? We've allowed people to take
where you going?
5-person teams. Because,
5-person teams.
well, maybe somebody gets overserved. Maybe you're just like...
Maybe somebody's
somebody's got to
serving.
go get drinks while the other 4 of us are curling. I mean, you can bring a 5-person team, so you can take 4 other
A couple people.
if you want.
And anybody.
Anybody.
That's like
Yep.
anybody. Well.
Taylor Swift, me, whoever you want, Jess.
Hey, that's a good fun. How about Zach Galifianakis?
Oh,
Yeah, good answer.
okay. I like that.
I like that.
My grandma Great. 'Cause she was
Yeah.
amazing.
All right.
She could touch her toes at 100, so I think she could handle it.
Nice.
Let's see. The 4th person, I think I'm supposed to say Craig Brown.
No, you're not.
Please don't. Nobody's
That's
taking
dumb.
Craig, I think, yet. Maybe somebody has.
I don't know. Somebody maybe,
Yeah.
but they shouldn't have.
Scott took us.
Oh, Scott Belvich took us.
Scott
Yeah,
Belvich
that's
did.
I
fine.
think one other
That was
person
an
did, and I
emergency-
told them that was a
team.
mistake.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think Kelly Law. She was probably
Oh.
the first one I started watching
Yeah.
when I was younger.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
It's a good pick.
So I need another person that could curl,
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
for sure.
Do you want to take one more?
I think so, but I gotta figure out who that would be. Maybe. Yeah, no, let's stick to the 4. We're
The
gonna
4.
gamble. And
All right.
Yeah.
I like
I
it.
like it.
That's good
I
crew.
feel like when she said Zach Galifianakis, I feel like Derek Benson has been missing out on a Halloween costume.
Oh, genius.
Kind of a like. I feel like he could pull this off.
Yeah,
he
you
could
think
pull
so?
it off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
he could pull it off.
there's some
They
personality
have some great
similarities
Halloween
there.
costumes, but yeah. All right.
But
All right,
I think we
last-
just gave him his idea for next year.
There you go. Next year. Start working on it,
There
Derek.
you go, Derek.
Even- whether you listen to the show or not. All right. Last one. Are you familiar with the parlance of a walk-up song for baseball? Baseball players come up to bat. Okay. If you had a walk-up song for curling, what would be your walk-up song?
It's got to be the intro for Thunderstruck,
All right.
AC/DC.
Yep. It's a great
Yeah.
one.
Fair.
Tried and true.
Mm-hmm.
Tried and true. All right.
And then it goes downhill after that. Then it's like Gangster's Paradise by Coolio or something.
Oh, that's not going
Rest
down.
in peace. R.I.P.
That's less cool.
All right. Yeah. Do you have any sponsors you want to mention? I know you're not curling now, but you work for USA Curling. Might as well rip those off.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Toyota.
I'm very for what?
Toyota.
Just let her go.
Let her tell the sponsors, not you.
Yeah. Well, Toyota was great. They supplied us with vehicles and helped us a lot. But I would say, especially being on this side and having the opportunity to work with Columbia, they are absolutely incredible as a company through and through and supporter for curling. So we're still obviously working on our build out for that and what we can bring to members and people to get some branded gear. But I can't speak highly enough to how supportive and how excited they are for curling, and hopefully more to come from that. But
nice.
yeah, definitely support them. And they own Prana and Sorel, so my boots now are rocking.
Okay, time out. Is that the correct pronunciation? Sorel?
Sorel?
Sorel. I always thought it was Sorrel.
It's not Sorrel.
I always thought it was Sorrel.
I thought it was Sorel.
Sorel?
I thought it was Sorel, and she's saying more Sorel. But
Sorel.
I didn't think it was what you said.
I got a pair of like Sorrels from like way back in the day.
Yeah.
Like, these things got to be at least 30 years old.
I didn't mean to get
they're
on
still
there,
going.
but
I still got my
I don't know
Sorrels.
if I ever knew the correct pronunciation.
I
All right, Sorel.
I still wear them.
Columbia, Sorel. Keep going. Any more? What else you got?
Mountain Hardware.
Mountain Hardware. Oh, they own Mountain Hardware too?
I do need a new jacket.
I do. Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah.
I've been jacket shopping online lately, but I haven't been able to pull the trigger on anything.
Anything else?
Well, I'll help you
Thorn?
out with that. I'll talk to you. Oh, yeah, Thorn's great. Thorn's on there.
ISS, right?
ISS. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm running dry. Anything else that's on you?
We're open for sponsors. If you know of anybody,
Okay.
please.
I don't.
Please send it our
I
way.
don't.
Yeah.
So if,
As are we.
yeah, as are we.
Definitely, as you guys are.
Pepto-Bismol,
Yeah. Pepto,
Advil,
Tums,
Tums.
Advil,
Pedialyte,
Pedialyte.
ibuprofen,
Yeah. Get in touch with the show.
massage guns,
Oh yeah, Theragun.
foam,
Theragun. That's what we
foam
need.
rollers.
They haven't officially been a sponsor of us with Theraguns, but they do give us a pretty good discount if you guys ever need anything.
Oh, nice.
From
All
the
right.
Theragun.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Price.
All right.
Yeah.
Jess, it has been a ball. Thank you for coming on. Appreciate it. Good luck with
all of the
championship
many
season.
things
Everything
that
that's
she
going
does.
on the rest of the way.
Yeah. It's coming up
Appreciate it.
to championship season, so
Yeah.
I know you're going to be
championship
busy
season.
for the next like 4 months.
I don't think I'll make it out to Denver, but if I do, I'll look you up.
Hey, we got Denver, Kalamazoo, Denver. Where else are we going? Some other places too.
I don't know.
But then
Hibbing,
Yeah.
I think.
I don't know.
Hibbing.
Maybe,
What's in Hibbing?
We don't do a lot of show
500,
research,
but-
so I can't rattle them all off. But,
500.
yeah. And
Good
then
luck.
World Championships.
Yeah.
So appreciate it, you
Yeah.
guys. This was really fun. I
Yes.
enjoyed
Yeah.
Good
hanging
luck
with
the rest of the way. All right. We'll
Thank
catch
you.
you again. Cheers.
Thanks,
Okay.
thanks, Jess.
you. Cheers.
That's it for season 3, episode 4-ish. Yeah, thanks to Jess Schultz for coming on. That was fun. Great interview. Big thanks to MotusCC.com, Motus Financial for sponsoring the show. Appreciate their support. Check them out for anything you need, POS and credit card processing needs. Otherwise, get in touch with us if you need some merch or some, stocking stuffers, whatever. We got some cards for ends, couple of games you could play at one time. Email the show, CurlingNation@curlingnetwork.com. Get in touch with us. Tell us who you want on the show, what we should do, what we shouldn't do. I don't know. We might listen to you, we might not. Whatever. Otherwise, interact with us on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, CurlingNation, Curling Craig, at the Mike 720. Joel runs the Curling Nation Twitter. Just, get in touch with us. Otherwise,
Comment on our sweaters.
Yeah. We look great in our sweaters. Craig was wearing a dress.
Oh, yeah.
And he was very handsome in a dress. And, I mean, whatever. It's a dress, and you looked great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's quite fetching.
Yeah. Deadline's coming up. Get your orders in at Steve's Curling. Craig will get it out as soon as he can if you need stuff for whatever, the second half of the season.
Free plug. I love it.
Yeah.
Bring it on, baby.
Yeah, always. But
You better get it out quick if you want to do it for Christmas.
Get in touch.
Now. How about a gift certificate?
Like right meow. Yeah, otherwise digital gift certificates, whatever. They'll figure it out. That's it. I don't think we have anything else. Mike McDermott, Craig Brown, Joel Dietz.
Not Craig.
Good curling. Out.